Yes, CNN international community, they are finally out for Aso Rock. This is war and fire to fire, since especially Lai Mohammed, who has been denying that nothing took place in Lekki toll gate, and CNN reviews or releases the evidence of everything they said. The one that made me to laugh was when he said he's going to sue CNN for passing fake news, fake information. Now you are going to be watching this video. CNN come out with another pure and clear evidence that shows exactly what happened. Now CNN is ready to expose Aso Rock, to expose everything about Nigeria. Even when all these things was going on, I was wondering, why is CNN not carrying this? They are carrying other countries' news. Why are they not carrying it? I was so happy and thank God when they come about this. So Lai Mohammed, they call you Lai, and you are acting according to your name. Let me see how you are going to defend this, how you are going to disclaim this video. Also, let me see how you put it. Do you think that CNN is AITNTA that promotes your evils? Of course, CNN is a transparent channel or network that cannot pass false information. I will play the video, you will watch it, then you come to my comment section to tell me. Now I am so happy. The God of the poor in Nigeria is fighting for us. Do you know what they are saying? I'm going to play another video of Lai Mohammed where he is saying he doesn't even care about what happens to people in Lekki toll gate, what happens during the EndSARS. Now he is claiming that the people destroy government property. So the properties are more important to people's life. It's just like what happens in Oyibo. People are saying that it's not Mweki is saying that he's not the one that sent the soldiers. Okay, the soldiers went there by themselves to do what they did, and you cannot caution them. Anyways, I'm going to play the video. You will listen to all this video, then come to my comment section and tell me what you think. My people of Nigeria, do not worry. God is working on our behalf. Let's allow them to fight this together with CNN. At the end, we are going to know who will win. CNN is going to open their nyash. Everything will be transparent, and we will see exactly what happened and how it happened. Of course, we know, but it's just that they are just covering it up. But the international community are working on our behalf, so we don't need to worry again.
Has the details.
A CNN investigation into a peaceful protest in Lagos, Nigeria turned deadly has drawn threats of sanctions from the Nigerian government. In the government's most significant response to the events which unfolded on October 28th at Lekki Tollgate in Lagos, Nigeria's Minister for Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, dismissed the CNN investigation as, quote, fake news and, quote, misinformation, repeatedly denying the military used live rounds against protesters.
Like everyone else, I watched the CNN report yesterday. I must tell you that it reinforces the disinformation that is going round, and it is blatantly irresponsible and a poor piece of journalistic work by a reputable international news organization. CNN, which touted its report as an exclusive investigative report, sadly relied on the same videos that have been circulating on social media without verification. This is very serious, and CNN should be sanctioned for that.
The minister also denied the findings of our reporting that there had been at least one fatality. He did not provide any evidence to back these accusations. CNN's report was based on testimony from dozens of witnesses and photos obtained and geolocated by CNN. It painted a picture of how members of the Nigerian army and the police shot at the crowd, killing at least one person and wounding dozens more. We verified footage acquired from multiple eyewitnesses and protesters by using timestamps and data from the video files. The police, in a tweet, denied shooting protesters. The army first called it fake news, then said only blanks were fired in the air. But the video shows soldiers who appear to be shooting in the direction of protesters, and accounts from eyewitnesses established that after the army withdrew, a second round of shooting happened later in the evening. Prior to broadcasting the report, CNN tried multiple times to elicit comment from the Nigerian army and the police force. Calls to the army were never returned. The Lagos state government and the police force said that there would be no comment while the judicial tribunal was underway. In advance of the findings of the tribunal, the minister told reporters his government was very satisfied with the conduct of the military and police. CNN stands by our reporting. Netman Barrow, CNN, London.
At least 16 people.
You that right now because many of you might find it distressing. Well, CNN spoke to witnesses who said there was a second round of gunfire later that evening. Here's what one protester who had been documenting events on Instagram Live told us.
Nigeria is a dictatorship with a democratic face. And I think that is primarily to please the international community. It is our right to protest anything that we see and change that we demand.
Well, those protests began as a movement against police brutality, but took a dark and violent turn as we reported. Nigeria is now threatening to sanction CNN and denies that security forces shot live ammunition at protesters. Well, MLB brought us that story after weeks of in-depth research and analysis by her and her team, and she joins us now from London. Nima, how has the Nigerian government responded?
Well, our reporting, Becky, has triggered their first really significant response since the events of October 20th at Lekki Tollgate. This is what the government information minister, Al-Hajleh Mohammed, had to say about our reporting.
Like everyone else, I watched the CNN report yesterday. I must tell you that it reinforces the disinformation that is going around, and it is blatantly irresponsible and the poor piece of journalistic work by a reputable international news organization. CNN, which touted its report as an exclusive investigative report, sadly relied on the same videos that have been circulating on social media without verification. This is very serious, and CNN should be sanctioned for that.
Of course, Becky, that is simply not true. We used video and images that we were able to verify. We received them firsthand from contacts, witnesses, family members. We interviewed a family member who had been searching for his brother for days at that point, weeks. We were able to at least help provide him with some closure, which the Nigerian federal authorities had not been able to provide. The press conference was contradictory, and during the conference, the minister said that the federal government was satisfied with the actions of the military and the police on the night of October 20th. That's actually ahead of the findings of its own judicial panel, and those that we're speaking to are incredibly worried about what that means for the findings of that panel. Does that not exert pressure on the panel to exonerate members of the military and the police? Of course, all this is happening while people are still searching for loved ones. People are still grieving the ones they lost, and people are still no closer to answers, Becky.
Now, I spoke to the Lagos state governor in the aftermath of the Lekki protests and incident. Have a listen to some of what he told me at that time. How many people died at the Lekki toll gate, and who was responsible for those deaths?
The number of deaths that we can attribute directly to the unfortunate, very horrific, very condemnable incident of last week Tuesday at Lekki, were only two dead bodies.
Who ordered that peaceful protest at the Lekki toll gate?
Okay,
who ordered people to be shot, and which branch of security services carried out the shootings?
It seems to me that there will be men in military uniforms, right? It depicts that there are military uniform, and so there will be military officers, or soldiers as it were.
So you're saying that it was military officers who ordered peaceful protesters to be shot at Lekki?
Yeah, that's what
Lekki
the
toll
pictures,
gate?
yes. Well, they were there, that's what the footage, that's what it shows.
Now, this was ahead of the judicial hearing that has been promised, and I asked the governor whether he was determined that there would be accountability. He said yes. What do we know about the current status of those hearings?
Well, that interview, Becky, we understand, sent shockwaves to the very highest level of Nigeria's government. And since then, federal authorities have backtracked. The Brigadier Taiwo, who gave evidence to the judicial panel, said that the two deaths were deaths from blunt instruments and that those injuries were not sustained at the location at Lekki Tollgate. And this is what we've seen. Different factions in the government are saying different things. And none of those people on the ground who are desperate for answers are receiving them. Even today, as the Minister of Information was carrying out that press conference, the coroner in Lagos put an ad in the newspapers, in the local press, asking for family members to come and try to identify bodies, even as the information minister in Abuja was denying that there had been any deaths. It's incredibly concerning for people in Nigeria and frankly in the international community, Becky, because it worries them that there will be really any accountability. What you saw there, what you managed to extract from the Lagos State Governor is the closest that any government official has come to admitting wrongdoing. And since then, we have reached out to Lagos State authorities and they have refused to give us any comment, Becky.
Nema Elgir on the reporting. Nema, thank you. And a reminder, in Nigeria, thousands of young people have been protesting against police brutality as part of a largely peaceful movement. It's called End SARS, and the SARS acronym is one used for a certain police squad, as it were. But on October the 20th, these protests turned deadly as the army and police moved in on unarmed civilians. The Nigerian army has called these allegations that it fired into the crowd, as you've heard, fake news, and told a judicial panel of inquiry that it did not shoot at any civilian, but Nema's investigation can reveal that that is not true. This is Nema's report. For those of you who didn't see it last night, some of the images you are about to see may be disturbing.
The Nigerian government denies this happened. A peaceful protest turned deadly.
The police came, we were peaceful. They came and started shooting at us.
CNN investigated the events at Lekki Tollgate the night of October 20th in Lagos, Nigeria. After analysing hours of footage, we are going to tell a story that is radically different than the one the authorities are telling.
The peaceful protest, Abi? Okay, make everybody this here. Now, where's the flag?
This is Godson. He was one of the demonstrators having fun live streaming the event. He, like many others, gathered in a peaceful demonstration of discontent after weeks of protests against what they called systemic police brutality and corruption. What Godson and the protesters did not know is that the army is already on its way. This is Bonny Camp, a military garrison on the south side of Lagos. We know through analysing footage they left at 6:29 p.m. heading towards Lekki Tollgate. We can see here the Nigerian government forces approaching. The protesters are gathered on the other side of the gate. As Nigerian forces get closer, you can see shots. At 6:43 p.m., we start hearing gunfire. We know this from the timestamp and data on this video. Here's another angle.
They are releasing fire. They are releasing fire.
Nigerian authorities say they fired blanks into the air and not at protesters. But CNN obtained video that appears to show the army shooting toward the crowd. Here, and at the top of your screen, here. In the midst of the chaotic scenes is DJ Switch, a Nigerian celebrity and activist. She is broadcasting live on Instagram.
I wanted people to see what was happening. I didn't want anybody to come and twist the story.
Witnesses tell CNN ambulances were stopped from entering by Nigerian authorities. You can see here people at the scene trying to conduct CPR.
Please explain to me how, in which part of the world do you go to a protest with live bullets?
CNN has verified that these bullet casings are from live ammunition. They are of mixed origin, some are Serbian. This one from 2005. Nigerian military sources verified to us that these are munitions that are currently in use by Nigeria's army. And in collaboration with the Balkan Investigative Reporting Network, we were also able to procure Serbian export documents, proving that Nigeria purchased weaponry from Serbia for almost every year between 2005 and 2016. The shooting continued past midnight. Eyewitnesses tell us it wasn't just the army. At this point, they say police arrived and opened fire.
My hand is broken, my leg is broken, and police are still shooting at us. If I don't make it through the night, let it be known. I died fighting for our freedom.
So why were live rounds used at a peaceful protest? Many family members of those still missing are asking that question as they hunt for answers or the bodies of their loved ones. Elisha's brother Victor was at the protest that night.
Someone picked my brother's phone and called me and said that my brother Victor Sunday is among of those people that was shot at Lekki Tollgate. And I entered into the hospital and searched. I did not see him. And we are trying our best to just find him. But there is no way to find him.
What we're about to show you is incredibly graphic, but it's also incredibly important. This is Elisha's brother Victor. The data in this footage shows it was filmed at 1:04 a.m. at Lekki Tollgate. Elisha says he received a call about his brother's death around this time. This places Victor exactly at the location of the protest on the night witnesses say they were shot at. This is important because Nigerian authorities deny anyone was killed at the scene. Since this incident, CNN has contacted over 100 protesters and family members. They pointed their guns at us and they started shooting. We asked what they heard.
When we heard gunshots from behind the toll
and felt.
This is where I was shot and the bullet went through my back.
Many are in hiding. Some have fled the country. CNN tried to share these findings with the Nigerian army but received no response. Lagos state authorities would not comment on our reporting until they said a judicial panel of inquiry presents its findings. The wait for answers here continues. Ni'mal Barir, CNN, London.
And a statement from CNN, I will read, and I quote, "Our reporting was carefully and meticulously researched and we stand by it." Well, moving on, decades of US policy upended.
The government was responsive and responsible in meeting the demands of the NSAS protesters. B. The irresponsible use of the social media by some unscrupulous persons aggravated the violence that erupted in the wake of the NSAS protests and helped to precipitate the violence. While the government has no plans to shut down the internet, it will work with stakeholders to regulate the social media to curb abuse C. Those who use the social media responsibly have nothing to fear. But those who abuse it have every reason to be worried, as no responsible government will stand by and allow a few unscrupulous elements to set the country ablaze. D. CNN goofed in a preconceived stance that the soldiers who were deployed to Lekki toll gate indeed shot at protesters, killing some of them. CNN relied heavily on unverified and possibly doctored videos, as well as information sourced from questionable sources, to reach its conclusion. This should earn CNN a serious sanction for irresponsible reporting. E. While judicial panel sitting in Lagos works to unravel what really transpired at the Lekki toll gate, available evidence so far points to the world's first case of massacre without blood or bodies. F. The federal government commends the security agencies for acting professionally and showing utmost restraint all through the NSAS protest and ensuing and ensuing violence, an action that saved lives and properties. G. Human rights organizations should note that the security agents are also human beings and they have rights too. Even if the organizations, for whatever reasons, are reluctant to recognize the human rights of security agents, they should stop vilifying them as they are wont to do. It's also disheartening that the human rights organizations have not seen anything wrong in the mindless violence that was perpetrated in the name of NSAS. H. DJ Switch should quit peddling falsehood and present her case with verifiable evidence to the judicial panel sitting in Lagos. No agency of government has declared her wanted. Hence, she has no reason fleeing or seeking asylum anywhere. I. The sanctions imposed on some broadcast media organizations by the National Broadcasting Commission are justified in view of the unprofessional acts of the organizations which were in clear breach of the Broadcasting Code, as stated by the Commission. It is also imperative for the traditional media to authenticate information from the social media before pushing such to the public. The federal government is very satisfied with the role played by the security agencies, especially the military and the police, all through the NSAS crisis. 6 soldiers and 37 policemen were killed all over the country during the crisis. This is in addition to 196 policemen who were injured, 164 police vehicles that were destroyed, and 134 police stations that were razed.
Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time or first day of coming across my YouTube channel or seeing my face, you are highly welcome. Herzlich willkommen zu meinem Kanal. Mein Name ist Linda Chukwuezi. It comes as Miguel. That red button that says subscribe and you turn on the notification bell so that you'll be able to get information on the.
Bis zum nächsten Video und einen schönen Tag. Tschüss.
Tschüss. Bis man subscribe to Linda's TV show. What are you waiting for? Click on that red button that says subscribe. You turn on the notification bell so that you'll be getting more updates from me. Leave your comment down below and share this video with your friends, families, and colleagues until we meet again in my next video. Bye bye.